Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, let's examine really what the tipping point of this round is. I'm not entirely sure why it's the fantasy land of childhood that their side tries to defend. Because, yeah, in a vacuum, in abstraction, of course, that's something good. But as you get older and you realize that the world is complex and ambiguous, you start to realize that all that, yeah, was fun and important, but it kind of messes you up when you're able to deal with the realities of the world. That is to say, what we told you quite clearly from the get-go was, absent a lot of the speculation that can happen in this debate, it's just good to be able to decide first, to be able to rebound and make mistakes, especially if they accuse our side and say that, oh, life's hard, parents can be ass, etc. A couple of reasons why their side can't take this round. Number one, in terms of characterization to how the actor or that individual is like and explaining what the debate's about. Because this debate is uniquely about what you're going to prefer, whether you're the eldest or the youngest, and that's exactly why it's under the veil of ignorance, which calls for a scenario analysis to be able to explain what's going on, because we don't know what kind of life you're gonna have. That's why we spent time to characterize it. Okay, we were able to talk about the best case and the worst case. Their side tried to just stick to this Goldilocks sweet spot zone of a mid-case utopia. It's admirable that they were consistent with that, but I'm not entirely sure what happens because they weren't necessarily able to respond to the things that I or Matthew gave. They tried to call it out and say, oh, that's just an edge fringe case. But that's still standing positive material and something that we're explaining can happen. Meaning it's completely fine as an average reasonable person to kind of wonder what might happen when your parents die. Meaning, yeah, okay, it's not like Japan where, oh, everything's gonna go to them. But what we're saying is that, which I said in the top of my speech, you're gonna be a decision maker. That's why the idea of agency is such an important tipping point, because regardless of all this bad shit happening, regardless if you are strong or weak, you're literally able to decide, get out of these situations and make the life you want for yourself, as opposed to being on the receiving end of all of that bad stuff. Second is in terms of like positive material, right? Because the POI I gave to DLO is quite important. Because up until now, I'm kind of confused how their case works. Because if they're saying that parents can be traumatic and demand a lot of stuff from the eldest sibling, and that the eldest system can get fucked up, which was their main rebuttal to us, I'm not entirely sure how they magically become all nice and better for the youngest sibling. Meaning they're gonna be on the receiving end of all of that bad stuff, especially if they characterize that eldest sibling to kind of be like a third parent. Sounds like a lot of trauma and counseling that's gonna happen to the younger child. I definitely wouldn't want to be there. It's very simple. The case we told you is about exposure to uncertainty and potential bad stuff happening. Meaning, if you buy what they're saying to us, which was their rebuttal to us that these things can be bad, etc., and can mess up the eldest child, the same way, all of that's gonna compound and get so much worse for the younger child. Because the same way that, we're not sure if the eldest child can deal with the trauma, the same way we don't know if the youngest child can rebound from all of that because people exist at an emotional spectrum, as to what Jared and Matthew explained. So, what we're simply saying is that in order to have a better life, you want to be able to reduce those points of comparison, those data sets, when you're ultimately being able to be preferred to be the eldest child. I'd rather do that and deal with that as opposed to be on the receiving end. We are very proud to stand on side proposition.